Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Matiang'i TV talk show, the house of ideas. This evening, I want to ask one question in relation to Fred Matiang'i, the former CS during the Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta's regime, in relation to his presidential ambitions. Do you think that Fred Matiang'i is under siege from his home political opponents? I'm asking this question because most people feel that Matiang'i is not moving at the pace in which any presidential candidate should move. But before we go to national politics, who is Fred Matiang'i? As mentioned earlier, Fred Matiang'i is a former CS for Education, Interior, and many other ministerial portfolios in which he was assigned by the former President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Of course, Fred Matiang'i has been credited for his wonderful performance. But my question, just as I had put it earlier, is he under siege from his background home? Because before you move out to fish for foods, you must first control your home turf. You must first control the people from the home where you come from. As Fred Matiang'i being able to control the entire Kisii region. Remember, the Kisii people have been surrounded by several counties. One is Narok, Bomet, Kericho, Migori, and we also have another one where Wanga comes from. How do you call it? Omabay County. And therefore, the Kisii people have lived in what one can say a hostile environment. And therefore, any reader that they support, be it from within their community or from elsewhere, this reader must possess qualities of being a warrior-like. For example, they can easily accept Rigathi Gachagua because he possesses the warrior-like traits. The former Simeon Nyachae, the late Simeon Nyachae, was a warrior-like. This is the first aspect that Fred Matiang'i must look at. Does he possess such warrior-like traits? But that one is not so much significant in our discussion today. I want to look at the political figures who are making Fred Matiang'i to look less competitive elsewhere. And these figures, I will narrow them down to two. The governor for Kisii, the Honorable Simba, and the Honorable Member of Parliament for South Mugrango, Sylvanus Osoro. But before we proceed, let me acknowledge Okach Kevin, who is watching live from Embakasi East constituency in Nairobi, and those who have actually joined us in this episode. You are free to give your comment on what you think, whether Fred Okengo Matiang'i, as things stand, is able to control the foods from the Kisii region. First, if we can look at what Sylvanus Osoro is doing much destruction to the CS. If we can look at the comments of the governor of Kisii, Simba is also doing much destructions to the presidential bid of Fred Okengo Matiang'i. At the end of this episode, I suggest ways in which Fred Okengo Matiang'i can silence these individuals and have his peaceful home turf without fear. If, for example, you look Sylvanus Osoro's camp, the team is walking around with baskets of money, bags of money that they are dishing out, and this is dangerous to one Fred Okengo Matiang'i, because it's my belief that wherever 10 people have been bribed, at least 2 may walk away. If these were supporters, 2 of them will walk away. So this is what is taking place in the Kisii region. Go to Nyaribari Church. People are being lined up in a form of, I don't understand whether it is environment, whether it is greetings, whether, but of course at the bottom of the matter or of the things, it is simply bribery, buying loyalty of the people so that they can be given some support by those individuals. When I talk of Simba has not been found in supporting one Fred Okengo Matiang'i. Simba has been speaking in tongues. He actually believes that he is from the largest party in East and Central Africa. Remember, Simba some times back, he anointed himself as the Kisii kingpin, the Kisii spokesman. Therefore, one can conclude that Simba is not free, open to supporting Fred Okengo Matiang'i. Remember when Rigathi Gachagua said the other time that he wanted to go to the Kisii region, Simba is the man who was initially against Rigathi Gachagua visiting the area. But when he saw the backlash, that is when he had to withdraw his earlier remarks. So this is the environment in which Fred Okengo Matiang'i is thriving in. People have been given money to walk around to preach the gospel of 2 terms. People who double speak in your own opinion, what do you think that Fred Okengo Matiang'i can do in order to deal with such a situation? What do you think? Just drop your comment. What do you think Fred Okengo Matiang'i can do in order to deal with a situation whereby people are walking with money in his home turf with baskets? Actually, when people walk with the money at your backyard, when people probably disrupt your functions at your own backyard, it will affect your chances as being the opposition flag bearer. Because for one to be a flag bearer from the opposition or from the united opposition, you have to demonstrate that from your home yard, whether there are a few people, you completely or you totally control the ground. What is your take? Just drop your comment and give an advice to us, or drop your comment on what you think is taking place back in Kisii. But all is not lost from Fred Okengo Matiang'i. The Kisii politics is unique. Kisii politics is unique. Kisii politics is majorly based on clanism. Kisii politics is based on clanism, and for you to succeed, you must come from, or you must harmonize the entire community. Before I read the comments, I can see some comments flowing in. I want to explain the composition of Kisii. Kisii is composed of 7 clans, 6 of the natives, and the 7th one, which may not be that big, from other communities, which includes the Kikuyus, the Wolves, the Kalenjins, and any other community. So that is the 7th clan. But the first 6 come from Kisii. And for him to be able to deal with a person like Simba Osoro, they come from one area, and in this area, I know Simba Osoro has taken much of his time to make the ground, because if you ask Osoro anything, he will not talk about the Kisii, but he will talk of South Mugrango. Normally he says, let me first finish with South Mugrango before I move outside. Therefore, he is well known from South Mugrango. Coincidentally, Fred Okengo comes from the same region, from the Grango people, the Mugrango person. So, Osoro goes ahead and tells people that, you see now, I have a cow that I'm already milking, and you are looking for a cow to milk. Should I stop milking so that we can look for another cow? That's when he wants to say that he has no ill intentions about Fred Okengo Matiang'i. But the people have said, the larger 7 communities or clans in Kisii land have said that it is time for Matiang'i. And this time it appears that they are more united than any other time, because the Nyaribari people and the Kitutu are the most, despite the fact that the leaders, the current leaders from Nyaribari are not well understood on whom they support. Of course, the Nyaribari Judge Member of Parliament is fully moving from one village to another with a basket full of money. So Uhuru, talking of 2 terms, it is very difficult for them to convince the people of Nyaribari to vote for 2 terms. Actually, in their vocabulary, more especially in Nyaribari Masaba, they have nothing to do with 2 terms. They have always been serving, for instance, MPs 1 term. Remember the time of Ongeri, Mandugu, Moindi, Mandugu, Machogu. So in their vocabulary is that there is nothing to do with 2 terms. And this time it has come to a situation where the entire republic is talking of 1 term. Will they listen to their MPs? Of course, without the promises that they were told. Because we have some of the promises that the people of Kisii were given, and those promises are safeguarded by those who are from the government. Are they providing them? And if they are providing them, as the people vote that, kindly, if you are joining us probably for the first time, subscribe so that wherever we are online or we produce another video, YouTube will automatically notify you. And in our channel, we discuss political events, we look at why political personalities behave in a given manner. Just as today we are looking at Fred Okemo Matiang'i is the man really going to control the Kisii region with opponents, silent killers like Sylvanus Osoro, Simba, among others whom I cannot mention because they are juniors. I just be uplifting them if I keep on mentioning them. Now let me see to what our comment section is saying. I can see Kevin Okach, who is of course from Embakasi East constituency, Nairobi, saying that Fred Matiang'i should be very careful with his home Kisii because political brokers like Honorable Osoro and the governor might divide the Kisii votes. Political brokers like Honorable Osoro and Governor Simba may bring trouble. So those are the comments from Okach Kevin from Embakasi East constituency. Therefore, if one can properly look at individuals like Osoro went to Parliament working with, I think, the Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. But within the short time, when they knew one another with William Samuel Ruto, who by then was the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya, and by him being taken from one place to another using an helicopter, the helicopter completely changed the life and the perception of Sylvanus Osoro in relation to politics. He escaped the group that was led by Raila Amolo Odinga and joined the Honorable William Samuel Ruto, and they started moving from one place to another. literally we can call Simbarati a metal. A metal, in other, or from where it comes from, it means a supporter. A supporter who gives his support to get the daily needs. A supporter who can do anything so long as he gets his support from the main metal. So to me, Simbarati, not Simbarati, but Sylvanus Osoro is a metal to William Ruto. A metal is literally lithium. And this, one can say it's a group that was outruled by the Ministry of Interior sometimes back, despite that I didn't see any issues with that group, because these are young men who normally support a given political leader. Of course, sometimes they become violent because they have, to some extent, been indoctrinated. It doesn't matter. You can be a member of parliament and be indoctrinated to another person because of the benefits that you are getting from that individual. So that is the category that I can put Sylvanus Osoro. But when we come to Simbarati is confused because of his close proximity to Honorable Amolo Odinga, and because of the position that he has of the deputy party leader. But to be fair, frank, and fearless, that position will take Simbarati nowhere. That position, if he does not properly trade well with it, it is a gateway to his Bobasi home or Wanjare where he now lives. So that is the background in which the Honorable Fred Okengo Matiang'i lives. Fred Okengo Matiang'i should do the following in order to deal with Simbarati and Sylvanus Osoro and their disciples. One, Fred Okengo Matiang'i, before even he goes out so much, because one will always get support outside once they see that he gets the maximum support as he did then. He should ensure that he moves from one village to another, probably in every week. At least once in a week is either in a church function, a wedding function, and even burial ceremonies. You should now stop trading from hotels or his home in Nairobi. And when he does this, he should make sure that there is one song, there are no two songs in his functions. He should not allow his opponents to just spoil his rallies. He should stand strong. He should identify his political party. The political party will have or will give him mileage, because the moment he identifies his political party, the rest of the political parties becomes irrelevant. They will totally become irrelevant. Even today, UDA becomes somehow relevant because Fredo Kemu Matiang'i is unable to make a decision on his political party. It's not a must that he announces his political party or what he intends. A close family member or a friend can join a given political party or that political party which he is likely to join if it is his card. For example, his wife, a member of the family, or his closest friend, like Machogu now is not in the government. The moment, for example, Machogu is spotted by reporters maybe joining UPA, we will be relating that if Machogu is very close to Fredo Kemu Matiang'i has joined this party, then Matiang'i is coming there. Or someone like his parents, I know his father may not be there, but he has even his uncle. He can make arrangements, and that person is spotted joining a given political party. And then from there, people will be preparing and they will be pushing towards that direction. So for him to clear Simbarati and the Honorable Osoro without fighting them is to identify a political party. That political party will make Simbarati and the Honorable Osoro to start to become irrelevant. I cannot talk of the Honorable Member of Parliament for those other constituencies that are buying voters now, because a time will come when they cannot do that anymore because of the resistance of from the ground. Therefore, as things stands, Fredo Kemu Matiang'i has not given a very clear direction. Fredo Kemu Matiang'i should attend those functions, minor functions within the region, and this will give him an upper hand to meet like people like Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka and Rigathi Gachagua, Eugene Wamalwa. Just as I said earlier, for one from amongst this group to be declared a presidential candidate must be seen as a warrior, because people feel that the Honorable President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, is a warrior-like person. And to deal with a warrior, you must elect, you must recruit another warrior-like person. These aspects, this behavior must be seen in one of those united opposition leaders, for people to be free, for people to leave their houses to go and vote for that person. So that is what they should be showing people now. And there are many issues that are arising, whether he likes it or not. If he has a political party, that political party should be at the forefront, condemning those evils in the society. But minus a political party, it makes it very difficult for him to condemn, unless he goes out on his own and condemns any evil that is being committed by the government. Now we are having a number of by-elections. If you don't have a political party, how will you measure yourself? How will you measure yourself? This is the time you use that opportunity to endorse members from your political party to a given position, and when they win, then your political party will awaken. This is what William Samoei Ruto did to Ruto sometimes back. This is the time when the opposition was to weigh itself from different parts of the republic, and where it's not their home turf, they come together and endorse one candidate, probably in the northeastern. But without a political party, it becomes extremely difficult. And I'm not saying that he wakes up tomorrow morning and decides that this is my political party. No, I've given a way in which he can identify himself with his political party if he's keeping it in cards because of the current regime that is also very arrogant. A close associate should be used to endorse someone in that party, so that through that political party things can happen. And if one wins from that party, maybe it's from his home turf, it can be associated that during the campaigns we saw close associates of Matiang'i in that party, and that by that is getting credit. So the silence is not good. What if elections are held in August 2026? Because there are those who are still claiming that elections should be held next year. That according to our constitution, elections should be held during the 5th year. What will happen? So preparations must be made now, and there will be no preparations without political parties unless you have that huge crowd, unless you have prepared the entire republic. And another thing, you should now, because he has had time, you should now have a constituents from the entire republic. A constituents from the entire republic. For instance, if he's going to Uasin Gishu, he should have people giving him a welcome. He should have people who are supposed to be candidates of various political parties with him or from his party. So that's the significance of coming up with his political party. The media should be in his pocket. Once the media is in your pocket, even if some people don't, even if some people don't consider you as the sole candidate, there will be that perception. Vincent Okari gives his comment that, or in his comment he says, Matiang'i is not stupid, he knows his game plan, shut your mouth. It's your opinion, Okari, that you could be, Matiang'i can be a status program. A status program are those individuals who don't want the opposition to be given any idea that can be redeemed, that can redeem them. So they always get to the social media and abuse anyone who is giving thoughts on what ought to be done. So Ukali probably is a status blogger. He doesn't want anything, any advice given to the opposition. So we will not shut our mouth until we achieve what ought to be achieved. So I said part of the things that ought to be done is to ensure that one, Matiang'i visits or goes back to the various parts of the Kisii time and again. Second is to ensure that he has an identifiable political party which people can identify with, so that he cannot bring unnecessary wars at the last moment. Coming with a party while or when the entire region has got, or a good number of individuals have got parties. So that is it. That is my take. And I have given the situation in Kisii. I've explicitly discussed or looked at Simba Osoro. I've looked at Simba and Fred Okenyo Matiang'i. If there's no further comment, thank you and have a pleasant night.